An Indian national called Kulbhushan Jadhav, detained illegally in Pakistan in March 2016, has been sentenced by a secret Pakistani military court to hang. The trial and the penalty marks a major provocation by Pakistan. The irony is that Pakistan is preparing the gallows for an Indian innocent while it hands out guest houses for globally designated terrorists. Yes, gallows for Indian innocents, guest houses for terrorists. This rank duplicity goes to establish without a doubt that Pakistan is the world's terror front office. Here are the hard facts that establish this beyond doubt. Hard fact 1. Pakistan cultivates proxies like Hafiz Saeed and Masood Azhar, globally designated terrorists by the United Nations. Hard fact 2. Shielded the world's most wanted terrorist, Osama bin Laden. Remember, he was found, smoked out and shot near an important strategic installation in the garrison town of Abbottabad. Hard fact 3. Suppresses human rights in Balochistan, and the POK, not one but 2 UN reports have proven that Pakistan's army goes about intimidating, eliminating innocent citizens, abducting them. There have been mass disappearances and mass graves that have been unearthed in both these provinces. Hard fact 4. Dawood is shielded by the Pak army and the ISI. This has also been revealed by terror agents who have been detained here and who have given detailed reports. Hard fact 5. Supplies nuclear weapons to rogue states. I am not saying it. Pakistani statesman A.Q. Khan, the father of their nuclear program, came out and made this startling confession, not just on national TV, but to the Pakistani Republic at large. Yes, these are the facts. Pakistan is the terror front office of the world. We're going to open this out for discussion. This incident, which is now being palmed off as some massive crackdown on Indian espionage in Pakistan, is nothing more but a sham trial based on fake proof. Joining me this evening, Air Marshal Abid Rao, joining us from Karachi. Also with us, Major General G.D. Bakshi, Dr. Sambit Patra of the Bharatiya Janata Party, and RSN Singh, defense analyst. I want to first begin very clearly with General G.D. Bakshi. The question today, the motion today on this show, Upfront, sir, is that Pakistan is the terror front office of the world. I want you to give me 3 reasons, sir, which establish this fact before I bring in the Air Marshal from Pakistan.
Rahul, at the outset, I would like to say one thing. You know, Kulbhushan Jadhav was an innocent former Indian naval officer who had, after retirement, joined the merchant navy, was engaged in business in Chabahar. He was abducted, taken across to Balochistan, tortured, made to sign confessions. Then they claim that he has been brought before a military court, totally in camera, and that he has now been sentenced to death. This is a judicial murder of an innocent human being. And our apprehension is, the apprehension in intelligence circle is, they have already tortured this poor man to death. They are trying to cover up that custodial death by the sham of a military trial in camera, and that he is going to be hung. That is, they are covering up their torture.
Okay,
don't forget the way they tortured Saurabh Kalia.
Framing
His
India,
entire body had cigarette burn marks.
Of Baluchi terror sponsored by our country. Allegations that were falling flat. So they catch hold of an individual, turn him into a scapegoat, throw him into prison, and then behave as if they have done some big investigation and gone ahead and convicted some big spy. Now, Air Marshal Abid Rao, your moth-eaten country, sir, is back to dispensing moth-eaten justice. That's the problem. You're a country, sir, that harbors the world's leading terrorists. Osama bin Laden found from Abbottabad. You make guest houses, safe houses for terrorists, but gallows for innocents. Defend this point. Despite asking 13 times, the Pakistani government refused to grant consular access to India. Why? Why would you do that? If you were so sure of your charges, why would you deny India a chance of defending its own citizen?
I wish today we had Ajit Doval also on the panel, whose video recorded message is on social media of creating disturbance in Balochistan, in Karachi, in Sindh, funding the terrorists, funding the separatists, funding the dissident elements. India is involved in terrorism in Pakistan since 1985, after the death of Mrs. Indira Gandhi.
Air Marshal.
Please listen to me.
Air Marshal.
Please listen to me.
Air Marshal.
And Sarbjit Singh was apprehended in 1986.
I'm asking you.
He had done 3 explosions, killed 19 individuals.
I am not saying this.
No, listen to me.
No, 1 second.
I'm connecting this.
Your own
TV saying that Sarbjit Singh and now Yadav. Sarbjit Singh was a terrorist.
Security.
It is our fault.
Has come out and said there is no proof.
Gave him death sentence in 91.
There is no proof.
Did not execute him for 22 years.
Sir, there is no proof.
There is plenty of proof. We have enough proof.
Your own man in this particular case
1 year of investigation.
Has come out and said there
we have apprehended about 400 local people
Rahul,
on payroll. Ask Ajit Doval. Ask Ajit Doval. Ask Mr. Modi. Ask other BJP leaders who in print media, in electronic media, they talk of breaking up Pakistan. Mr. Modi has admitted
we have just statements about the involvement of the Indian spy in terror activities in Pakistan. Vice Marshal denied this. You are a watcher of Geo News, or do you think Geo News is also a moth-eaten fabricator of news? I'm asking you.
State, as far as we are concerned,
are Pakistani news channels.
What other people in the world think of you? We think you are the biggest terrorist.
Air Marshal.
Yes, you are trying to break up Pakistan.
Air Marshal David Coleman Headley, born Pakistani, emerges from Pakistan in an American jail.
You talk about yourself, talk about me.
MSM.
If you say something that is more weight, then what
born Pakistani, carries out Pakistani attacks, is in American jail. Osama bin Laden lives in Pakistan in Abbottabad.
Doesn't matter.
No, what does it not matter?
Every country houses somebody's terrorist.
Hafiz Saeed, global terrorist.
We may be housing your terrorist.
Name one global terrorist in India. Name me one global terrorist in India. I'm asking you, designated by the United Nations, you can't.
How many people did your Prime Minister kill when he was the Chief Minister? More than 2,000 Muslims.
Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif today told a full Senate chamber.
He was declared terrorist by America. Why did you elect him as your Prime Minister?
Air Marshal, don't lose your marbles. Your country has lost all its balance. You're losing your marbles. Now relax. I'm only telling you the following. Air Marshal.
We made a mistake. Did not hang Sarbjit Singh,
Air Marshal,
who got a state funeral when he went back.
You are hanging an innocent
man. What are you talking? You kept saying that on humanitarian ground he should have been left.
Is Sartaj Aziz a nutcase?
Now all...
I'm asking you, is Sartaj Aziz a nutcase?
Forget about that. Let's talk about...
why forget about it? Why forget about it? Why forget about
let's talk of the other Indian terrorists.
Is Sartaj Aziz a nutcase? I'm asking you, is Sartaj Aziz a nutcase?
It was perfectly fine.
Is the man who advised you on your foreign policy and talks to your senator nutcase? I'm asking you, simple question, yes, no. Is he a nutcase? Lashkar-e-Toiba, OBL, Osama bin Laden, hero.
Osama bin Laden
he's a hero.
Was a hero of the Americans also.
You're a hero.
Mr. Reagan met him, invited him to the White House.
Who was snuffed out of Abbottabad, right next to your famed sir, citadel
Please
of
don't
the army,
quote selective
was a
portions
hero
of history.
for Pakistan. Can you imagine? This is the
all
country
these
we're dealing with. Poor
they were
Kulbhushan
heroes
Jadhav
of the
had
Americans.
the misfortune of doing business. I would suggest today to all Indians, boycott Pakistan. Moth-eaten country living off our scraps. Don't even give them scraps. Let them just fade away into ignominy. Why even give them a handout? I want to bring in Sambit Patra. Dr. Patra, let's just send this country into the absolute dregs of irrelevance.
I mean, that's a big joke.
Dismiss it. Big joke. It's a big joke. Actually, it's a big joke. They sell nuclear weapons.
It's a big joke. You have tried for last so many years to isolate Pakistan diplomatically.
Can you imagine?
You have been embarrassed, ashamed at the international forum.
Mr. Adil, we did not interfere you. Please hear us out as well. See, as far as the allegation by Mr. Adil that we are planning to break Pakistan, as far as your question is concerned, that we should not help them and they should finish themselves off, I would say that we don't have to do anything. Because of its misdeeds, Pakistan will finish itself off, and the forces finishing Pakistan would be within Pakistan. Coming to this particular issue of Kulbhushan Jadhav, rogue country, rogue court. Just as the Pakistan's dispensation is a terrorist dispensation. Today, sir, you are an elderly man. We respect you. We heard you out. Please do hear us as well. A rogue country, rogue court, and in this particular case, I would say a terrorist country handing out judicial terrorism. I have a few questions to Mr. Abid. He's a senior man. Please hear me out and answer these questions. These are technicalities. Number one, 13 consular access was sought by the Indian government. The Geneva Convention also and the international norm is you should provide this consular access. This consular access if all was as you say. Secondly, why did you not inform the Indian High Commissioner that you were starting the trial of Mr. Kulbhushan Jadhav, who is an Indian, because Indian government had owned immediately after your confession that you have arrested Mr. Jadhav. So naturally you should have informed the Indian High Commission before the trial started, but you did not inform the Indian High Commission. So what were you hiding? Thirdly, and very importantly, you would agree to the fact that anyone who is a spy would not go to the territory with an Indian passport on. But Mr. Kulbhushan Jadhav was caught with an Indian passport. Would you, let's say on a commonsensical ground, would you say that if he was a spy, he would trend into this territory with the Indian passport? And last question is, can you name the lawyer of Kulbhushan Jadhav? I can name the lawyer of Ajmal Kasab, who was hanged in India after a fair trial. Can you, as a Pakistani, name the lawyer's name who was
Dr.
in fact
Patra,
looking after
I've
the
been
trial
asking
of
this
Kulbhushan
question
Jadhav?
of all Pakistani guests all day today. They say, oh, you see, this is an above-board trial. They don't even know themselves that Kulbhushan Jadhav has been held by the Pakistani establishment or the army and who he is. I can ask this of Air Vice Marshal Abid Rao, but it'll be a waste of time. Let me tell you, I want to ask you a more specific baseline question before I bring in Colonel RSN. Abid Rao Saab, tell me one thing. Do you believe that the United Nations is a rogue organization? Do you believe that it's a rogue organization?
It's an important organization. It does nothing where some bigger countries are involved.
It's an important
you are
organization.
Defying their resolution
why do you go around
of
appealing to the United Nations the whole day?
A country like India.
Why do you keep appealing to the
United like India is defying its resolution. And you are not implementing that in Kashmir. What are you talking about UN? Why are you quoting UN to us?
Sir, I'll be honest with you. The United Nations has shut their doors on you. Even they think that you're a rogue, despicable country.
Every country.
A country that does business with the most absolute
That is your
picks
dream.
of this
That is your dream. It is
guys
not UN thinking.
Who have been
we
shot
are
in
a very big partner of UN in many activities around the world. Whether it is peacekeeping, whether it is as
that horrible
humanitarian aid, etc.
who lived in Tunisia, another human being that you did business with, another character called In Jong-kil, who lives in North Korea. You supplied weapons to them. Listen to what the United Nations said about you. United Nations sent a fact-finding body to Balochistan in 2012, and the United Nations Working Group on Enforced or Involuntary Disappearances duly records the pain of the Baloch people. You slaughter your own people, let alone anyone else. You slaughter your own people. The city you're sitting in, Karachi, is a hotbed of sectarian terror unleashed by Sunni groups on all other countries, denominations and people.
What do you do to the Dalits? What do you do to the Muslims? What do you do to the Christians? What did you do to the Sikhs?
I don't know what you're talking about.
400,000 Sikhs were killed
completely
after
living in Cuckoo land.
Mrs. Gandhi's
completely
death.
living in Cuckoo land. Everyone is a part of this country except for in Pakistan.
that a country like India, which has a dirty face, is telling Pakistan that we are not doing right.
Minutes of your birth,
I will admit,
quite literally,
you did that in Bangladesh in 71.
Prime Minister was here
yesterday and
your Prime Minister has for saving us from these monsters sitting in Rawalpindi and Islamabad. That's what she said. Thank you. These monsters, these crooked dictators, thank you for saving us. God alone knows where we would have been without you people. This is the truth.
You started terrorism in 71. You will get paid by that. Somebody will pay you. Sri Lankans have done that to you.
A country
Sikhs have done that to you.
We are dealing with a country. We are dealing with a country which is a front house of terror. Now, I want to only ask you, sir, what do you think we should do? Should we lock up some of their citizens here and give them the death penalty and hang them? Because I think that's the only thing they will understand. Colonel RSN.
Breeding terrorism.
Yeah. Now, Rahul, I am not at all surprised. You please note that this, the news that has filtered is that the decision to give him capital punishment has been decided by a military court. So I am not at all surprised. Air Marshal, do you know that you are the only country, probably in the whole region, the larger Asian region, where the military is deciding upon civilian cases? You have 11 military courts, running, whose term expired in January, and by some amendment of Article 28 of the Constitution, you have again reinstated the military courts. Rahul, what I want to say here, that all experts all over the world, who fancy themselves as Pakistani experts, do not factor in that how much subverted the judiciary of Pakistan has become today, and you are seeing an example of that. It had been subverted long back. When people accused of blasphemy, were murdered and their murderers. I mean, the judges, they used to sing pains, and the entire courts used to throw rose petals on them. That is what is Pakistan for you. So I am not at all surprised on this. Also, now look at the travesty. Here is a naval officer from the technical branch. Air Marshal is from the Air Force. There is an army officer also from on your panel from Pakistan. For heaven's sake. A chap who's supposed to be dealing with engine rooms of naval vessels or the technical aspects, you mean to say he is going to create insurgency in Balochistan? Have you gone nuts? And then you try to implicate Iran in this.
Sir,
when the Iranian president visited,
this is a country that had the president of the prime minister of their own.
And he gave you a sound diplomatic thrashing.
Sir, the military
and
there
then
is
you had
so
to issue, denials after denials.
That Sharif was booted out of power.
We never meant that.
Bhutto was hanged from the lamppost.
Therefore...
And one of their chiefs, Niazi, was sitting in Bangladesh, Dhaka, drinking wine while people were being slaughtered and his forces were being overrun. That's the scenario. He was having kebabs and wine. Can you imagine that?
Rahul,
that General Niazi fellow. That is what
the target, Rahul.
What do you expect?
The target, Rahul, was not only India, but it was also Iran.
Can you imagine? Lieutenant Colonel Shafqat Saeed? I want to ask you a question. Chodiye, Lieutenant Colonel Shafqat Saeed, can I ask you a question?
But that went in vain.
Lieutenant Colonel Shafqat Saeed, let me ask you a question. Straightforward question. Lieutenant Colonel.
Angle to it.
Let me ask you.
There is a geostrategic factor into it, and it has also got sectarian motivations.
Sir, can I just ask you, Lieutenant Colonel Shafqat?
Yes, Rahul.
Simple question. Who fought the case? Who fought the case within the army for Jadhav Saab? Who fought the case? Can you name me the lawyer?
Rahul, first of all,
Chodiye, can you name me the lawyer?
This expert.
Can you name me the lawyer?
Why lawyer? Why should I name the lawyer?
Because you don't know.
He was provided a defense counsel by the court.
You don't even know.
In such cases, no lawyer, he can't go and
it was so secretive. It was such a secret for everybody else's trial.
For you.
What's the big deal? Tell me,
He
why
was
can't
a
it be held?
terrorist.
Why can't it be held in an open court?
He had to go through the procedure
if your case
which
was so
is
strong,
invoked in
why
Pakistan.
didn't you come out in an
why
open
should
court
you be
and hold the
worried on
trial?
that?
1 second, we held the
Why?
trial
Why
in
open court trial?
Anyone could cover it. Foreign journalists came, Indian journalists came, everyone came. We had a designated lawyer. Dr. Patra will tell you. Dr. Patra, why don't you explain to this character who comes from Pakistan?
No, you did not ask me a question and you never allowed me to answer you.
But you don't know the answer.
Now stand my answer if you have asked me a question.
अरे सवाल का जवाब दीजिए.
The question is, who is the lawyer?
Who is the
मैं
lawyer?
सवाल का जवाब देना चाहता हूँ, आप मेरा सवाल का जवाब सुन नहीं सकते हैं.
Who is the lawyer? बताइए.
And not
Lawyer
even
कौन
in
है?
one case. A decent trial has
पहले आप ये तो माने कि वो आपका भेजा हुआ था.
बताइए.
आप
Lawyer
इतना
कौन
चीफ
है?
क्यों रहे हैं? He was not, none of, first of all, you disowned him. You disowned him for 6-7 months.
We never
Once
disowned
we showed
him.
you
We
his
sent
ID
you
card and we
13
gave you his credentials, we gave you his address,
sent you
we
13
gave you his total
requests.
details, then you started
access.
accepting him. And today you are
What are you
contesting his
talking?
case. Why should you do that?
Hello, sir.
And
Have
he
you
was
read?
a technical cadre officer of Indian Navy, but he was very much involved in fanning terrorism.
He does not know
and
his
he
facts.
has thousands of blood, people's blood on his hand.
No, sir.
And he will stand justice. And I told you earlier
These
that
liars
he
are
would not
professional.
trial and he would be
They are
executed.
professional liars. They choose not to know the facts. I just want to play out Durrani's statement.
Of the facts, Rahul.
Yeah, 1 second. Let me pull out. Listen to this. Two statements. So we heard Musharraf, General Musharraf, who confessed that their heroes are terrorists. Now listen to a former National Security Advisor, Durrani Sahab from Pakistan. Kitab likhte hain wo. He writes books. No, he writes books indicting Pakistan. अरे सुन लीजिए, उनकी भी सुन लीजिए, आपके ही हैं, आपके ही हैं वो, आपके जिगर हैं. They were part of your national security force.
सारे पाकिस्तानी मेरे जिगर हैं और आप गलत बात कर रहे हैं इस वक्त.
सुनिए ना, आप सुन तो लीजिए, बाइट में सुनाता हूं आपको.
Today terrorism is a serious global threat and needs to be defeated by a well-considered strategy, both at the national, regional and international levels. The terrorist attack in Mumbai, carried out by a terrorist group based in Pakistan on 26 November 2008, is a classic trans-border terrorist event. I hate to admit this, but this is true.
Hate to admit this, but it is true. It's a classic case of trans-border terror. आपके ही है ना, आप जिसको अभी कह रहे थे, yes, we embrace our Durrani Sahab. Listen to the National Security Advisor.
दूसरा या तीसरा आदमी नहीं, आप 35वें आदमी को यूज कर रहे हैं बोलने के लिए. मैं आपको अभी वीडियो क्लिप भी दिखा सकता जिसके बीच में कुलभूषण सिंह यादव ने खुद अपने मुंह से बोला है क्या काम वो करता रहा है.
अरे पीट
आप क्यों वो वीडियो दिखा रहे
हैं? If you are so convinced,
वही रिपीट है. वो आपके सामने बैठा हुआ था खुशो-खुर्रम ठीक-ठाक. वो करवटें ले रहा था कुर्सी में, सामने ठीक-ठाक था. उसके ऊपर there was not a single bruise on him.
You keep state guests.
No, he was not. He has not been tortured at all.
Innocent Indians. 2 Indians came to you 3 weeks
Rahul,
ago. They were whisked away
he was not.
by chaps like
he
you.
Was none of the innocent
they
people.
Were whisked away. You had to
Please
release
have a
them.
heart. He is responsible for 1,000 people's death. He was responsible for those pilgrims who were going to Iran for Arab Shia pilgrims who were murdered in cold blood. He was responsible for that.
Where is the proof? Show me the proof. Show me the proof. Put it outside.
That is the proof.
Then how can you say,
Rahul,
1 second, either he's a terrorist or he's an espionage agent. Your own document says he's an espionage agent.
कमाल करते हैं, proof only exists on Times now.
What lies?
नहीं राहुल ऐसा
What
नहीं है.
lies? Lieutenant Colonel Shafqat Saeed.
Rahul, I need to come in.
Only exists with you. You have the bag of
कभी-कभी आप भी आएंगे हिंदुस्तान, आप भी गायब हो जाएंगे. मैं बता रहा हूँ. At this rate, you'll also disappear. There'll be no one to speak for you. Not even a television program. They'll disown you also. So don't jump around too much. Yes.
One lieutenant colonel has been kidnapped from Nepal.
Dr. Patra.
And he has been kidnapped by Indian agencies.
आप आए यहाँ पर.
Mr. Shafqat, allow others
to India.
also. Please hear others also.
Shafqat नहीं हूँ मैं, Shafqat हूँ Patra साहब.
Need to be correct. Shafqat ji, sorry. Shafqat ji, please hear others also. Let's not shout over each other. This is a debate on which facts should be kept on the platter. You are short of facts. Fact number 1, when you said wrongly that the Indian government disowned him for months altogether, absolutely wrong. On 24th March 2016,
yes, you
Pakistan declared
yes,
that they have arrested, that they have, just listen to me, sir, that they have arrested Kulbhushan Jadhav. The very next day, on 25th March 2016, the Indian government not only said that he was a bona fide Indian citizen who ran a business in Chabahar and he was abducted from Chabahar, but we sent out a first consular access request on 25th of March 2016 till 31st of March 2017. Till this period, we have sent out 13 consular accesses. So naturally, we'd never disowned him. Secondly, you have to get your facts on this fact, and I want to ask this question. You could not name the lawyer. You said that some high court, some place, they were having a secret kind of judicial system going on, and you do not know who the lawyer is. I can name the lawyer, Mr. Abbas Kazmi, who fought for Kasab. So every Indian knows who the lawyer of Kasab was, but you all tall Pakistani commentators have no idea as to who the lawyer for Mr. Jadhav was. Thirdly, the third confusion which you should clear, you have more idea about Pakistan than us. The third question is, Sarfaraz Bugti, who is the Home Minister of Balochistan, comes out and holds the first press conference in this regard, and he says that Mr. Jadhav was arrested from the Pakistan-Afghanistan border, a place called as Chaman. The very few days, after few days, in fact, the army holds a press conference through Asim Bajwa, and he says that no, Mr. Jadhav was arrested from a place called as Saravan, which lies between the border of Pakistan and Iran. There is a difference of almost 900 kilometers between Saravan and Chaman. So why this sense of confusion in Pakistan? Remember, confusion only exists where the truth has been compromised with. So it is true that the truth has been compromised. You were talking about the video.
Dr. Patra, I'll tell you why there's a confusion on the borders. No, 900 kilometers, because Pakistan doesn't know whether they have that territory under them right now or not. Their borders shift so fast. Look at what happened. Their borders extended thousands of kilometers right up to Bangladesh. Within one year, the border shrank by 1700 kilometers. In बेचारों को पता ही कहाँ है where their borders are.
I wanted to speak about the video also. The video that he was claiming about. मुझे उस वीडियो के बारे में भी बोलने दीजिए. Because he should be exposed today. Mr. Shafqat should be exposed. Shafqat ji, you should be exposed. You talked of a video.
I'm exposed. I don't want to put up my clothes, but I'm sitting in front of you.
He's an ISI agent, by the way.
Hear me out. Sir, hear me out. I'm giving you technical points. Answer me on technicality.
To say Shafqat is an ISI agent. That's what they said to me some days ago. They say, why do you call Shafqat? He's an ISI agent. He gets a briefing from ISI.
He would be knowing the facts. Then more so, he should be knowing the facts, because after all, it is ISI and the military is the one which is...
But I am not qualified as yet on their merit.
So if he is an agent of ISI, he would know more of these answers. So
I wish to be one. I wish to be one. I would put my life and soul in it. But as far now, I have not been able to qualify for that. And I honestly want to be one.
Put your life into that.
You are one.
Okay, sir. After this debate, go and put your life for being an ISI agent. But right now, answer my question. Number one, you talk of the video as the conclusive evidence. This 150-second video was in fact sent to a forensic laboratory by the Indian administration.
Yeah. And it was not 150 seconds.
We found that there were 147.
It was about 6-7 minutes.
147 cuts in the video. The facial expressions did not match with the voiceover. There was a teleprompter which was used because the eye contact was with the teleprompter. And very importantly, there was no consistency between the facial expression and the voice that was made. There was, remember, a discrepancy of 3 weeks between his arrest and his announcement, because the media in Pakistan said
you know what?
that on March 3rd, 2016...
The facts are that India has offered consular access to Bahadur Ali, a suspected terrorist that was arrested by the Indian forces, an elite terrorist from Pakistan. This was given on September 23rd, 2016. Because India was confident of its own case, Pakistan has never given India, despite 13 requests. And the dates are on your screens. 13 times India sought consular access. Pakistan never gave any consular access. General Bakshi Sahab, why do you think this was the case?
It is quite patently obvious that this man has been tortured horribly to extract confessions, and I pity the poor man and what this depraved state is capable of doing to him. We had seen that in the case of Saurabh Kalia. I would also like to ask the August Air Marshal, you claim he was a terrorist. What weapon, how many AK-47, how many rounds of ammunition, how many grenades, what explosives did you recover on him? Not one bit. Your own Foreign Affairs advisor Sartaj Aziz came on your television to state that Pakistan has no concrete evidence that this man is a terrorist or a Indian agent apart from the confession. How then, Air Marshal, why are you torturing an innocent? I mean, is it a standard crazy practice in Pakistan that you can show bravery only against an unarmed prisoner? Where is that bravery on the battlefield, Air Marshal? This man is like Saurabh Karia was tortured. He had cigarette burn marks all over his body. His eyeballs had been gouged out. And then when we confronted you with this, we were told it is the birds and animals. Birds and animals are more humane, Air Marshal, than your people are.
So they've lost all the battles they've ever fought. What bravery? What bravery? They've hidden behind
I will answer this question.
They hide behind
Rahul.
children in the valley.
What
they
bravery?
give children stones to throw. What are they going to answer, sir? What are they going to say today? These are the people who've hidden behind terrorists all their lives.
Fight to the last
to fire their
Kashmiri.
guns.
No, Rahul, let me answer.
Oh, come on, sir. Air Vice Marshal, what are you going to answer? Military man is asking you questions.
I'm going to answer.
You've lost every
When Sarbjit Singh,
every military campaign.
Sarbjit Singh was arrested, he was carrying no bombs, but he had caused 3 explosions. He had killed 19 people.
Have given you crutches to stand on. From America
it was our
to
weakness.
UK.
We did not hang him
to Chinese.
For 22 years after he was given the death penalty.
Colonel
and
Shafqat
he became a hero because he was killed by some
Marshal, I'm asking you a simple
fellow
question.
prisoners in the jail.
You cannot
the moment
fight
he
your
crossed
own
his
battles.
border,
You need everyone
India,
else to fight your own battles.
He was given a state welcome and state funeral. He was a proper terrorist planted by Rao then. And the story continues. Yadav may not have anything on board when he was apprehended, but his connections, Pakistan has made more than 400 arrests.
We don't know.
Legal
may
term
not,
is that.
may not
have everything on board.
No, my God. Just a second, can I ask something? Mr. Abid, you say that you agree with over here you agree to the fact that he may not have anything in person, and yet you hang this innocent man.
Absolutely.
Is this the way the judicial system in Pakistan works? So you had a dream that he is a spy. You had a dream that he is a terrorist. You agreed right now on the television channel he may not have anything on him. So what made you draw the conclusion that he is a terrorist? A terrorist had to have ammunition. A terrorist had to have a plan.
Whatever connections he had, whatever connections he confessed,
you recovered
whatever
an Indian
interrogation
passport from him,
results
that
came
is
out,
all.
proved whatever he has done.
You tortured him. You tortured him and you tortured him and had a doctored video. That is the evidence. A doctored video is the evidence.
I mean, how do you know? If you have no
kind of country you
consular access to him,
a country which
how
believes
are you
in a
putting this
doctored
blame
video
that he was tortured?
and gives out a hanging
you never gave us the consular access. That's why we are presuming, sir, that you tortured him. Why would you go to such extents of not giving us consular access? Because you had something to hide. Perhaps you had beaten him so much. You had thrashed him so much. There would be visible marks on his face. That's why you didn't want us to see it. That's the reason.
Terrorist.
अरे सर मार के तो आपने कन्फेशन निकाला किसी से. On top of that, you conduct a sham trial. People like you who are engaged by the ISI to come out here and speak to the media.
He was carrying a fake
Don't even know the names of the lawyers.
He was carrying a fake name.
You don't even know.
And when he was interrogated,
he
said, I am from the Indian Navy. My actual
here
name
is the
this,
ISPR statement today. This is how confused you are. In 3 different places, the name is spelled differently. Kulbhushan Jadhav. One spelling here. In the next spot, you see, it is called Yadav. There, Kulbhushan Jadhav. Then you call him Kulbushan Jadhav. Then you can't spell Kulbhushan right. This is a ham-handed attempt, sir, at framing people. You don't even know the surname. You can't spell it from sentence to sentence. The name of the person that you are sentencing to death. Can you imagine? Look at this. Here it is Yadav. Why? There, right there where my finger is, Yadav. Up here, it's Jadhav with a J. Make up your mind who you're hanging.
Rahul.
First of all, yes, General Bakshi.
This does not make him innocent.
Oh, come on, sir. Get your facts right.
Error in that.
Every 3 sentences you change the spelling.
No, Abid Rao. Air Marshal.
Go ahead, sir.
Please go ahead.
You know, the fact of...
Rahul.
You know, Air Marshal Abid Rao, any prisoner, you know it and I know it, any prisoner under duress and extreme torture can be made to say anything that incriminates him. Such incriminating evidence is not recordable, is not usable in a court, this kind of a confession. That is what decent countries uphold that law. The second fact that I am really asking you is, that if you are so convinced, why is your state talking in different languages? Why is Sartaj Aziz saying he has no evidence? Why is Sartaj Aziz saying he has no evidence? He was on national television. And the hypocrisy, Air Marshal Rao, when you have to try, Hafiz Saeed and Zakiur Rahman Lakhvi, you send them to a civilian court, which drags it for 8 years.
Sir, gallows for
then
innocents,
you have to deal
guest houses
with a
for
person
terrorists.
Innocent of Indian origin.
This is the reality
you
in
send
Pakistan.
him to a military court.
Gallows.
Why is Hafiz Saeed not before a military court?
Absolutely.
Please tell
gallows,
us.
sir. Gallows for innocents.
Why is
and guest houses for terrorists. This
not
is how
before
Pakistan,
a military court?
This is how schizophrenic Pakistan is. It's a moth-eaten banana republic, sir, that is trying desperately to dispense justice. And in their own statements, they can't spell the name of the person they're sentencing to death, right? Every third sentence, they've got his name spelling wrong. This is their document, not mine. I haven't forged this. I haven't made this. You can go and access it anywhere on any website, the ISPR statement. Can you imagine this country where its own presidents come out and say, yes, for us, the Lashkar-e-Toiba is a hero, where Durrani, their NSA, comes out and says, yes, this was a classical attack of terror, the 26/11 attack. I'm ashamed to say this, but I'm saying it. Can you imagine a country like that, sir? Can you imagine any other country in the world where terrorists are reared in their backyards like pet cats? I have never seen a country like this. And unfortunately, this pet cat today is going to scratch the eyes out of Pakistan. That's what's going to happen. And they will fall by the wayside before anyone can say, Jack Robinson. We need to move on this show, sir. I've wrapped up. We need to move on. Another big story, a big story coming out of Chennai, where, unfortunately, all sorts of tricks have been used to try and lure voters into voting for particular candidates from the AIDMK. There are two factions. They're up to all sorts of tricks. Some are giving cash. Some are using dummy corpses of J. Lalita during their campaigning to sway public sentiment. Tamil Nadu netas have tried every trick, as I said in the book, to win over voters in RK Nagar, even at the cost of tarnishing Amma's legacy. And in the end, it was the Election Commission that saved the day and countermanded the bypolls in the corruption-stricken constituency. This is a sign of a larger and deeper malaise, and it extends beyond Tamil Nadu, in fact. But for a moment, I just want to ask some specific questions. Apsara Reddy is with us, and so is, of course, Mafoy Pandeyarajan. And I want to come across to both of them because both of them are fighting one election, different camps. One election, different camps. Mafoy Pandeyarajan, I want to ask you, sir, you're a minister, former minister in the government. You are representing the OPS, O Paneerselvam camp. Those who don't know O Paneerselvam camp, they are Jaya followers, but oppose Sashikala. And I want to ask you, look at these pictures, sir, where you are plastered next to the dummy of J. Lalita. You were instrumental in, sir, carting around the effigy of J. Lalita in the ultimate insult to her dignity, sir, to canvass for votes. How desperate could you get?
Not really.
Not really?
I think you need to see the context.
What do you mean the context?
Please see the context of this election.
What is the context?
Election. No, I'll tell you.
What context
no, the content and the context.
I'll tell you
both.
Out the
Listen,
dummy
as if
in a callous exhibition,
let me tell you.
In a callous
exhibition. Let me tell you. The context is, here is an election Listen, I understand your question. Please let me complete what I have to say. Here is an election which is being fought on resolving the mystery behind Amma's death. Sure. Clearly, the entire RK Nagar constituency, the prime election is, the prime issue in this election is a judicial inquiry into Amma's death.
You could not find a better way of making that point, sir, rather than relying on her corpse, on an effigy of her corpse.
Listen, what happened?
Come on, sir.
What?
Come on.
No. Listen. Listen, this is something which happened for hardly 10 minutes and the national
your candidate needs to be disqualified.
Understanding the context of the content.
After that, there are allegations that your candidates are handing out money.
No.
The IT department finds almost 100 crores tumbling out of your closets.
No.
4,000 rupees you're spending on votes, and this applies to the other side also.
It's a candidate. Listen, with least understanding. Yeah, listen, please show some understanding. The one who has pumped in 100 crores of money is TTV Dinakaran, which is, Sashikala camp. And the election has been countermanded mainly on this basis that Income Tax Department could establish a trail of where the money came from and where the money went. That's the prime reason why this
Dinakaran has been found by the IT department. I'm only asking you a question, sir. On the one side, and I'm going to bring in Apsara Reddy. Apsara Reddy,
yeah.
Your faction found buying votes. The other faction using coffin for votes. For God's sakes, would Amma, the person you regard
first of all, we need to get some facts
esteem,
right
have appreciated this? I'm asking you this. Who's competing to insult Amma's legacy? I'm only asking you this question.
There's been a targeted attack on our leaders and our party since the passing of our leader. There's no conclusive proof. There is no conclusive proof that money was distributed. And what is the authenticity of these videos? And why didn't the EC act on Mr. Mafai Pandeyarajan's camp, misusing the national flag in such a lowly manner? They insulted the national flag. They insulted the legacy of Amma. How can they do? Is that the way to ask for a judicial inquiry?
This person comes out and despite all of
why
this...
didn't Mr. OPS suspend? Why didn't Mr. OPS suspend the entire bandwagon which was campaigning that day for defiling Amma's legacy?
Who starts here? Who makes the first move to clean up? Will the OPS faction do it? Or will you do it?
Here are people who have gone out.
Who owes Jayalalitha more?
First of all,
this is ridiculous. I feel that both candidates should be disqualified.
Mr. TTV Dinakaran has consistently remained in one party. Unlike the other camp where people have jumped multiple parties, our allegiance to Amma and Amma's legacy is consistent, constant, and there's no wavering from that. Mr. TTV Dinakaran has been a hard grassroots level party worker.
Legacy up for sale. The highest bidder will win it. 4,000 rupees.
We never put up for sale. There is no proof. I think there needs to be a CBI inquiry.
Someone will pay 4,300.
There needs to be an inquiry.
4,400. You'll have a bidding war. You'll get a vote. Ridiculous. I think this is absolutely ridiculous.
I think all opposition parties, including the IT department and EC, all of them should actually be investigated. Why before an election? In the history of India, has there been an IT raid before an election? In the history of India, during an election, a day before the election, has there been an IT raid?
Well, what do you do when
cash
is hanging out of people's pockets?
Why wasn't the UP election then re-looked at? Because the EVMs are faulty.
When cash is hanging out of people's pockets?
Why wasn't the UP election not re-looked at? Because the BJP won with such a huge mandate. Why not?
Miss Reddy, now you can find fault in every other election anywhere in the world, but unfortunately, you have been caught. Your faction and the other faction have been caught using all sorts of abominable means to try and win elections.